Hello children, I hope you all are healthy and safe. I, Ms. Kunjan Daswani from Shiv Jyoti Educational Group Kota, welcome you all to the e-learning classes of English Grammar, and today we are going to revise chapter number 1, 2, 3, 4 of your English Grammar book, that is Everyday English Grammar and Composition. So first we are going to revise chapter number 1, that is common and proper nouns, and you can open your books to page number 1 for that. Okay. Now before knowing what is a common and a proper noun, we should know that what is a noun. So noun is the name of a person, place, animal, thing, and which express ideas and emotions too, right? So in short I can tell them as what? A naming word, right? So what is a noun? Noun is the name of person, place, animal, thing, and which tells about the ideas and emotions. Okay, so this is what is a noun. Now moving to the types of noun. In this chapter we are going to study about two types of nouns. What are they? First one is common noun and the second one is proper noun. So common noun, the word itself is suggesting we will talk about the common things, right? So the name of person, place, animal or thing of the same kind are categorized in common nouns. Moving to the second type of noun, that is proper nouns. So proper noun is, the word itself is suggesting that we will say about a particular thing over here. Okay, so it tells us about the name of person, place, animal or thing particularly, or I can say specific names of person, place, animal, thing, ideas and emotions too. Okay, so I am telling you some examples of common noun. So examples of common noun are cup. So I am not talking about a particular cup over here, just a common example, that is cup, or I can say is pencil. I am not talking about the particular pencil or specific name of that pencil. I am just saying you pencil. So pencils are so many like Apsara, Camlin, right? But we are taking the example, I am just saying what? Pencil. So pencil will be categorized in common noun. Okay. Now moving to proper nouns. So examples of proper nouns are Sunday. Okay, this is the particular name of the day of the week, right? It's the day of the week. So that's Sunday. I'm not talking about days of the week. I'm just telling you the name of that day, right? That is Sunday. So Sunday is an example of proper noun, right? Moving to another example, that is Diwali. I'm not calling it as a festival. अगर मैं festival बोलती हूँ, तो that would be an example of common noun. But I'm talking about Diwali, which is the name of a specific festival. So that will be the example of proper noun. Okay, so these are some examples of common and proper nouns. Now we are going to revise your exercise. Okay, so you can open your books to page number 2 for that. First I am taking some examples from your book only, your exercise only, that is exercise number B on page number 2. Okay, so I am taking the first one, that is you need to do what? Underline the proper nouns in the given sentences and rewrite them correctly. You have to underline the proper nouns in the sentence that are mentioned in your book on page number 2, right? And what you have to do is you have to underline the proper noun and then you have to rewrite the sentence again. Okay, so the first sentence is Akhil and I traveled to Jaipur by train. So what is the proper noun over here? That is Akhil. So first we will write Akhil as we will make Akhil's A capital, okay, because it's starting with A, so we will make Akhil's A Capital because as we know that proper noun always begins with capital letter, right? So Akhil is capital, then I am writing Khil. Okay, so this is the first proper noun in the sentence, and the second proper noun is Jaipur because that's the name of the city, right? So that is also a proper noun, so we will make Jaipur's J capital. Okay, J is capital and then Jaipur. Okay, so these are the two proper nouns in the sentence. Now seeing the second one, my cousin Ravi will arrive from New York in July. So first proper noun in this sentence is, first proper noun that you will underline, that is Ravi. Okay, because that's the name of a person, right? So first proper noun is Ravi. So we will make R capital because that's a proper noun. Okay. Now moving to another proper noun in this sentence, that is New York. Okay. So what we will do is we will make capital N, right? Because it's starting with N, N-E-W, and it's having York. Okay. That's the another word. That's the name of a place, right? That is why we'll make Y also capital over here. York, New York, and another is July. The last proper noun in this sentence is July because that's the name of the month, right? So July is another example. We will make J capital of July. So these are the three proper nouns in the sentence. Now moving to your other exercise which is given on page number 3. Okay, that is exercise number D. So fill in the blanks with proper nouns. The first one is what? Let's see. D exercise, first one. Wednesday comes between dash and dash. As you all know the days of the week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So Wednesday is coming between what? Tuesday and Thursday. So this is the answer. What is the answer? First, in first blank you will write Tuesday. Okay, and Tuesday's T would be capital. And in the second blank you will write Thursday. Okay, so Thursday's T also capital. Okay, taking another example, river dash flows through Delhi. Which river flows through Delhi? That is Yamuna, right? So Yamuna's Y would also be capital because that's the name of the river. Now this was the revision of chapter number 1. For rest you can see your book on page number 1, 2 and 3 you can find this chapter in your book. Now we will move to chapter number 2, that is singular and plural nouns. Okay. Now we will revise chapter number 2, that is singular and plural nouns. Okay. So on the basis of number, when we talk about number, okay, so nouns are categorized into 2 categories, that is singular noun. First one is singular noun and the second one is plural noun. Okay. So in the singular noun, singular means when we are referring to one person, place, animal or thing. Okay, when we are referring to one thing or person or place or animal, that noun would be singular noun. Okay, but when I talk about plural noun, it refers to more than one thing. Okay, when we are referring to more than one person, place, animal or thing, that time the noun would be what? Plural noun. So first example, I will give you examples of both, that is singular and plural. So first we will take the example of singular noun. I am writing box over here. So box is referring to only one box, right? Only one box we are talking about over here. So this is the example of singular noun. But what would be the plural noun of box? Okay, so the plural noun of box would be boxes. That means boxes refer to more than one box, right? So that is why this is an example of plural noun. Okay, now there are some ways to change this singular to its plural form. Okay, so what are these ways? Let's see the first way, that is ways to form plural noun. Okay, so the first way is what? The first way is to change some nouns from singular to plural, we only add s at the end. For some nouns we just need to add s in the last. So just simple thing what we need to do is we just need to add s. Okay, we'll just add s. Like I am giving you example of shop. Okay, it's shop. To make the plural, we will just add s in the last. That is shops, right? Now moving to the second rule. What is the second rule? If the noun ends in a hissing sound, that is, if it's ending with s, double s, sh, ch or x, we will add es in the last. So the second rule is what? Add es, right? We'll add es in the last, and some examples I can give it like dress. It's ending with double x, right? That means it's having a hissing sound. So what we will do to make its plural? We will add es in the last. That is dresses. We just added es. You can see it over here. We just added es. Okay, so this was this rule number second. Now rule number third. Rule number third is, if the noun ends in y and the letter before the y is a consonant, change the y into I and add es. So if the noun ends with what? Y. Okay, so the first thing you need to do is you need to see if it's ending with y and before y if there is a consonant. What you all know what is a consonant? The letters other than the vowels. That means other than a, e, I, o, u. That other than these letters, the other letters are consonants, right? So if before y there is a consonant, what you will do is you will replace y with I and then you will add es. We will understand it by seeing an example. Okay, I am writing an example, that is baby. Okay, you can see it's ending with what? Y, and before y there is what? A consonant. This is what? This is a consonant, right? So what we will do is we will add I in place of y. I just added I in place of y. You can see here, you can see after B there was y, but you can see here after B there is I, because we replaced y with I. Okay, and then we added es. Okay, so this is what we need to do when it's ending with y and before y there is a consonant. Okay, I am writing in short, that is if it's before y there is a consonant. Now moving to the fourth rule. What is the fourth rule? Let's see. The fourth rule is, if the noun ends in y and the letter before y is a vowel. Now here also we are talking about y only, it's ending with y, but there is a difference. Here before y there was a consonant, but here before y there is a vowel. We just need to add s in the last. Okay, हमें सिर्फ क्या ऐड करना होता है? s. Just see, ends with y and before y there is a vowel, right? So I will take an example, that is key. Okay, key is ending with y and before y there is what? E, which is a vowel. What are vowels? A, E, I, O, U. So E is a vowel. So what we will do is, to make its plural, we will just add s in the last. Okay, to make it plural, we just added s in the last. Okay, this was the fourth rule. Now the fifth rule, let's see the fifth rule, which is given on page number 5. Okay, so for most nouns that ends in fe or f, okay, change the f or fe to v and then we will add es. Okay, so ends with f or fe, right? So what we will do is we'll just replace this with v and then we will add es. For example, it's given loaf. Okay, it's ending with what? F. Okay, so what we will do to make it plural? We will replace f with what? V. Okay, and then we will add es. So you can see after a what is coming? Here f is coming, but to make it plural, the plural form is having after a it's v. Okay, because we replace f with v and then we added es. Okay, now moving to the sixth rule. Okay, the plurals of some nouns are formed by changing one or more vowels in them. Okay, so there are some nouns that are changed. To make the plural of that noun, we just need to change the vowels in it. Okay, just see the example. I am just writing. Changing one or more vowels. Okay, so what we need to do is, we will just add what first word is, first example I am taking of this is foot. Okay, it's having two vowels, right? That is double O. It's having two vowels, and to make its plural, we'll just change its vowel only. Okay, it's having double O. So to make its plural, we added double E because that is also a vowel. Okay, to changing one or more vowels. So this is the example of this one. Now moving to the next one, that is some nouns. There are some nouns that don't follow any rules while changing into plural. Now there are some nouns which don't follow these rules we have studied, and they don't follow these rules. Let's see some examples of that. Okay, so don't follow any rules. Let's see the example. Okay, so example is child. To make its plural, we'll add R-E-N. Okay, children. Okay, is it following any other rule, in any rules from the above? You can see no, because these rules don't follow these above rules that we have studied. Okay, that is why you can see child's plural form is children. Okay, now moving to the eighth one, that is some singular nouns do not change in their plural forms. Now there are some nouns that do not change their plural form, right? Like the plural noun of, you can see sheep, would be sheep only. Okay, I am writing example, that is sheep. Okay, the plural noun of sheep would be sheep only. Okay, because I will not make it sheeps. Okay, because it will remain same. They do not change into plural forms. Okay, now moving to the last rule. What is the last rule? There are some nouns that are always plural. They always remain plural. We don't need to make it like if the example is scissors. Okay, the example is, I'll not call it a scissor. Okay, if you also call scissor, then that is wrong. Okay, you need to call it as scissors. Okay, it will always be pronounced as scissors only. Okay. Now on page number 5, you can see on the top the first sentence is written of exercise number 8, that is the fifth sentence. Okay, so fifth sentence, there are lots of dash in our school. Room or rooms. Is there one room only in your school? No, there are so many rooms. So what we will use, room or rooms? We will write rooms. Okay. Now this is the answer for the fifth one. Now moving to your exercise number B, you can see the first sentence. There are 40 dash in my class. So here we are talking about more than one child or children, right? Child will come or children will come? Children will come, okay? Because we are talking about more than one person over here, that is why. So the answer for this one is children. Okay, now moving to your next exercise, that is on page number 6. See exercise, rewrite the sentences by changing the nouns from plural to singular and make other necessary changes also. Okay, what you need to do is you have to rewrite the sentence by changing the nouns from plural to singular. Okay, the plurals are already written in that and you have to change them into its singular. So the first sentence is the shelves have many books on them. Okay, so here you can see shelves is there. To make it singular, that it is given in plural, right? But to make it singular, what we will do is the C, first one. So what we need to write is shelf, because that's the singular of shelves. Okay, so the answer is shelf. And one more thing, you need to make other necessary changes also, right? You have, you need to change it into has now, because we are talking about one shelf only. Okay, so have will be changed into has. Okay, and one more thing is that many would be changed into a, because in the above sentence we were talking about many books. Now we have to change it into singular, so now we will talk about only one thing, that is why many would be changed into a. Okay, and the example is there, books. So books will be converted into book, because now we are converting plural from plural to singular. Okay, so books will be converted into book, and it was written them in the last. Okay, so them will be converted into it, because that's a non-living thing. Okay, that is why we used it, not her or him, or like these examples. Okay, so this is what? This is the exercise of chapter 2, that is singular and plural nouns. Please refer to your book on page number 4, 5 and 6. You can find the exercises. Please revise them. Now we are moving to the revision of chapter number 3, that is countable and uncountable nouns. Now we will see what are countable and uncountable nouns. You can open your books to page number 7 for that. Okay, for this chapter, that is chapter number 3. Okay, so the word itself is suggesting that something would be related to countings only. Okay, right? If I can say the things that you can count are categorized into the first category, that is countable noun, and the things that you can't count are categorized into the category that is what? Uncountable nouns. So I can say like that countable nouns are nouns that we can count, right? Countable nouns we can count. Okay, and the second one is what? Uncountable nouns. Things we can't count. So I am writing we can't count. Okay, so the examples are already given in your book. That is, I am taking one example from your book only, that is tree. Okay, so can you all count the trees? If I say that you have to count the trees, you can count that, because of that only this is what? A countable noun. So example is tree, and you can change them into singular and plural both. They can be singular also and they can be plural also, like it can be trees also, right? But when I talk about uncountable noun, what happens when I am talking about uncountable noun? These are the nouns that we can't count, right? If I ask you to count count the water, you can count that? No, you can't count. And that is what uncountable nouns. Okay, so I am taking an example from your book only, that is juice. Can you count juice? If you can count like that, 1 juice, 2 juice, 3 juice. No, you can't count that. Okay, so that is why this is what an example of uncountable noun, and this will remain singular only. It will not be converted into plural. Juice will not become juices. It will remain juice only. Now, if I here I am talking about juice only, but if I say a glass of juice, so here you can see what I am talking about a glass, because the juice is already be put into a glass, and now I am talking about a glass over here. So glass can be counted, but juice cannot be counted. So, but if I talk about a glass of juice, then this is the example of what? Countable noun, because a glass can be counted. But if I say juice, only juice, because I can't count juice, okay, because of that this is what an example of uncountable nouns. Okay, but now you can open your books to page number 8 and you can find the blue box in the last, which is given over there. With countable nouns, we use words like a, an, few, a few or many to indicate the number or quantity. Okay, so these words are used like a or like an, few, a few or many would be used with countable nouns. Okay, like an example is given, 1 horse or a few grapes. So these are what? These are grapes is what? A countable noun. Horse is again a countable noun. Okay, before that you can see 1 or a few, which is used with countable nouns only. But when I talk about uncountable nouns, with uncountable nouns you can open your book to page number 9. Okay, you can turn your page, you can see on page number 9 above in the top you can see the blue box. In that it is written that with uncountable nouns we use words like much, a little, little, a lot of, a plenty of to indicate the quantity. Okay, so like for example you can see some milk. Okay, because we don't know the exact number. Okay, because we can't count these things, we don't know the exact number, so we are just talking about the quantity, that's why we used some. Okay, so some is used with uncountable noun, but it can be used with countable nouns also, like some and any can be used with countable and uncountable nouns both. Okay, now that is some oil, or if I say some pencils. Okay, right. Now we are moving to the exercise. You can open your books, you can see on page number 9 only, exercise number B. If I am saying that I am writing a sentence that is, not dash girls came for the music show. Okay. Now, here in exercise B, what you have to do is use a few, little, a little, much, many, plenty of, or some to fill in the blanks in the sentences. I am making things easier for you. I am giving you 2 examples. Just imagine if I am giving you example like many and much. What would you put in this blank? As it is having girls, and we have seen it above also, that much is used with uncountable nouns and many is used with countable nouns, and you can see girls is what? A countable noun. So what we will use is many. Okay, not many girls came for the music show. Another example I am giving you, I can finish my work in dash minutes. I am giving you example like a few or a little. As I have seen, as I have told you also, that a little is used with uncountable nouns and a few is used with countable nouns, and you can count minutes, right? It can be counted, it is always in number, as you know. Okay, so what would be the answer? A few. Okay, this would be the answer. Now this was the revision of chapter number 3, and now we are going to do chapter number 4, that is collective nouns. Okay. Now we will do chapter number 4, that is collective noun. Now the word itself is suggesting us that collective nouns would be something which will be in a group. Okay. Okay, so I can say like that. In your book it is written on page number 10. Okay, page number 10 you can see that a collective noun is the name given to a group of people, animals, things or things of the same kind and spoken of as one whole. Okay, so I can call them as that it's the name given to a group of people, animal, place or thing of the same kind. Then that thing would be called as what? Collective noun. So some examples of collective noun are what? A bouquet of flowers. Right? You can see bouquet is suggesting bouquet is not having one flower only. It's having more than one flowers. And that is what these more than one flowers are being represented by one word, that is bouquet, which is what? It's telling us about the name of a group of things, right? So this is what? A collective noun. Okay? So bouquet is what? A collective noun. One more example is there, a team of players. So team is again representing what? The number of players in that group. Okay. So team is again a collective noun. Now moving to the exercise of this chapter. The first exercise, you can see it on page number 10 only. Exercise number 8. Complete the phrases with collective nouns. And some of the collective nouns are given in the help box also. Like you have to use these collective nouns only, like gang, class, cluster, army, swarm, shoal, bunch, choir. So these are the words that are given in the help box, and you need to complete the phrases with the help of these words only, these collective nouns only. Okay. So the first exercise, first sentence, that is a dash of students. What is there of students? What would be from the help box? The suitable answer would be class. Okay, so a class of students, right? So class would be the answer. Okay, now the second one, a dash of robbers. Okay, so from the help box, the answer would be gang. Okay, gang of robbers. Now moving to the next exercise of this chapter, only, that is exercise number C. Okay, so C exercise is what? Fill in the blanks with appropriate collective nouns. And that some collective nouns are already given into with us to in the box. It is already given in the box, that is crew, collection, herd, bundle, team, pack, swarm or committee. So these are some collective nouns that we need to use in the below sentences. Okay. So Mr. Soni has a large dash of stamps. So the most suitable collective noun for this sentence would be collection. Okay. So the answer for the first one would be collection. Moving to the another exercise, which is on page number 12. Okay, so page number 12, D exercise, fill in the blanks with the most suitable nouns. Now, the collective noun is already given to us in the sentence. Okay, you need to fill it with the suitable nouns now. Okay, some nouns are given with us in the help box, that is X, singers, actors, lions, whales, teachers, drawers and geese. So these are some of the nouns that are given to us in the help box. Okay, so first sentence is a church choir is a group of dash. So choir would be sung by singers only, right? So the answer for D, first blank, would be singers, which we have taken from the help box that was given to us. Okay, that is singers. Okay, now for the rest you can refer to the PDF. If you want to cross check the answers, you can refer to the PDF which will be sent to you with this video only. So I hope you have revised it thoroughly. Stay fit, stay at your home. Thank you.